Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today on Google and AI,
Oh, yeah.
specifically with the all this stuff swirling around Chat GPT.
Right.
Our main source today is Sundar Pichai's interview on Bloomberg's The Circuit.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You get like a glimpse inside the mind of the CEO kind of navigating all this craziness.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, I think, just to see into his thought process a little bit.
Totally.
It's so easy to get swept up in all the headlines and think that Google's
Yeah.
on the back foot or whatever.
Right.
But Pichai really emphasizes Google's long history with AI.
Oh, he does, doesn't
Yeah.
he? He does. And in fact,
Yeah.
he reminds us that Google actually declared itself AI first back in 2016,
Yeah, way back then.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I found really interesting.
What's that?
Google researchers actually invented the transformer technology.
Oh, wow.
So that's the T in ChatGPT.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So even though all these other companies are seemingly winning the AI race,
Right.
they're the ones that laid the groundwork.
Yeah, that's right. It's a core component of all these large language models that we're talking about.
Totally. But then you have this whole code red situation at Google
Yeah.
when ChatGPT exploded in popularity.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had Microsoft jumping on the bandwagon.
Right.
And it really seemed like Google was scrambling.
Yeah, definitely shook things up.
It did.
And the media loved portraying Google as, being on the defensive.
Oh, for sure.
But Pichai doesn't really seem fazed by that.
Yeah.
He's got that, cricket analogy,
Yeah.
the bat is talking or something.
Yeah, he's like, the bat is talking.
Yeah.
Meaning, their recent success speaks for itself.
Right, exactly.
He's thinking long term and seems pretty confident in where Google's at.
Yeah, he seems like he's not worried at all.
I know.
Yeah.
I found it interesting, too. He had this anecdote about using Google Lens with his son for homework,
Oh, really?
which I thought was so funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder if his son really needed help with that math problem.
Right, well, that's the question, isn't it?
I know.
Is it just a cool dad moment? Or is it
Right. Or is it
is he getting a little help?
a little too much help?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think it is a good point. It brings up this question
Yeah,
of how AI is being used already in everyday life,
totally.
whether we realize it or not.
Yes.
And it also sparks this bigger conversation about how we use these tools
All right.
for even things maybe bending the rules a little bit
A little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
on homework or whatever.
Yeah. And that brings us to, AI's impact on search,
Right.
which is kind of the big thing here.
Right.
The way that we are searching for information
Yeah,
is transforming
it really is.
because we're moving from simply getting a list of links
Yeah,
to receiving direct answers,
right.
which is a huge shift.
It is a fundamental change.
It is.
And, Pichai talks about this evolution
Mhm.
of search, and he really sees a future where you don't have to wade through
Yeah.
pages and pages of search results.
Yeah.
You ask a question,
Right?
and AI can help you find the
Right.
exact
Answer.
you're
Yeah.
looking for.
I love that, but I also get a little nervous because what about the accuracy of AI?
Oh, that's a good point.
We've already seen instances of AI-generated content polluting search results.
Oh, totally.
Remember that fake picture of the tank man
Yeah.
from Tiananmen Square taking a selfie?
Oh, yeah.
That went viral
Right?
before people realized that it was completely AI-generated.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was insane.
Yeah, that was a really stark example
That's
of
right.
how, this synthetic content can really muddy the waters.
Totally.
And it raises serious concerns
Yes.
about how do we even discern truth from fiction in the age of AI.
I know, and that's what's scary,
Yeah.
to be honest.
It is a little unsettling.
But Pichai reassures us that Google's working on solutions.
Okay.
They're focusing on maintaining links to sources so that users can verify information.
Okay. Good.
And they're even developing ways to distinguish real content from fake content,
Interesting.
which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah.
He really believes that this ability to kind of sift through all the noise
Right.
and determine what's real is going to be a defining factor
Mm-hmm.
for search engines going forward.
Yeah. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
In a world where anyone can create hyper-realistic images or videos or even text,
I know it's scary.
you need to know what's authentic.
You do.
That's so crucial.
It is. So it's not just about making search faster
Yeah.
or more convenient.
Right.
It's about making sure that the information that we're getting is actually reliable
Absolutely.
in a world where it's becoming harder and harder to tell
Totally.
what's real and what's fake.
Yeah. And he sees this going beyond search, too.
I would.
Yeah, so he specifically points to like smartphones and glasses as kind of the next frontier for AI innovation,
Okay.
which is cool.
Like, what does that even look like?
Well, imagine a world
Yeah.
where your glasses can translate languages
Oh, wow.
in real time.
That's insane.
Or like give you instant information
Wow.
about anything you look at.
That sounds like a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
It's pretty wild.
It is pretty wild.
Yeah.
But what about the downsides?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Like all this stuff with AI training data.
Right.
What do you think about all that?
Well, you're right to bring that up.
Yeah.
Pichai does touch on the challenges of actually getting enough
Yeah.
high-quality data to train these complex AI models.
Right.
And then there's also the risk of using AI-generated data
Oh, wow.
to train other AIs,
Whoa.
which could lead to all sorts of biases and inaccuracies.
No, it feels like we're venturing into this uncharted territory.
Yeah, we really are.
Where we're building something so powerful, but we don't even fully know
Right.
what it's capable of.
Right, and how it's going to work.
So how is Pichai as a leader?
Yeah.
Like, how's he navigating all of this?
Right.
Because there's been a lot of criticisms of his leadership style, hasn't there?
Yeah, the interview does mention some criticisms.
Like what?
That he's too cautious.
Okay.
Especially compared to that, like, move fast and break things mentality
Right.
of other tech CEOs.
Right.
There's even a quote in there from someone saying,
Oh, really?
like, where is Google running things through legal?
Oh, my gosh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
But it does highlight that perception
Yeah.
of Google being a little bit more bureaucratic, maybe
Right.
overthinking things.
But Google is not a startup anymore.
Exactly.
It's this massive company
Yeah,
with a responsibility to billions of users.
that's right.
So I get why he's maybe
Yeah.
a little more cautious.
Well, I think he understands that rapid,
Unilateral decisions could have huge unintended consequences.
for sure.
Yeah.
So it's less about being a maverick
Right.
and more about being like a steady hand at the helm.
Exactly. Yeah, his emphasis on consensus
Right.
might seem slow,
Uh-huh.
but it allows for more thoughtful long-term strategies.
For sure.
He's not about just making a splash.
Mm-hmm.
He's about making like a lasting impact.
Yeah, and I guess when you're dealing with something as powerful as AI,
Right.
you got to be careful.
Yeah, exactly.
But this brings me to something else.
Yeah.
The changes in Google's culture.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen those recent layoffs,
Uh-huh.
and it seems like there's less tolerance for, like,
Yeah.
employee dissent.
Less open, I guess.
A little bit like when those employees were fired
Right.
for protesting the Israeli cloud contract.
Yeah, it does seem like they're taking a more controlled approach
Yeah. Yeah.
to certain issues.
Oh.
It's definitely something to watch, I think,
Yeah.
as we see how the company evolves.
Okay, so where's all this heading?
Yeah.
Like, what's Pichai's vision for Google and the future of AI?
Well, that's exactly what we'll be unpacking in part 2 of our deep dive.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah, stay with us.
Welcome back to our deep dive on Google and the future of AI.
Yeah.
We were just discussing Pichai's vision for the company and,
Right.
AI kind of playing a role in all of that.
Yeah, it is really interesting how he sees AI as
Yeah.
so central to their future.
I know. It makes you wonder, where is this all heading?
Right.
I mean, it even brings up AGI, artificial general intelligence,
Oh, wow.
where machines could potentially reach, like, human-level intelligence.
Whoa.
It's pretty mind-blowing and a little unsettling, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely raises some big questions.
Oh,
And even Pichai says, like, he doesn't fully understand everything about AI yet.
really?
Yeah, there's still that, like, black box element to it.
It is fascinating, but also unnerving
It is.
that we're creating something that we don't fully even comprehend.
Right, yeah. But then he makes this interesting comparison between AI and humans.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, humans are complex too.
Yeah.
We don't always understand our own motivations or actions. Sometimes you do something and you're like, why did I just do that?
All the time.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
Pichai actually suggests that AI might help us understand ourselves better.
Oh, wow.
Because by studying these systems
Right.
and like how AI learns and makes decisions,
Uh-huh.
we might actually gain new insights into like the human brain
Okay.
and how we operate.
So it's almost like
Yeah.
it's not this, like, looming threat.
Right.
It's actually like a tool for self-discovery.
They could be both.
Yeah, that's a fascinating perspective.
Yeah, and he doesn't shy away from the potential downsides either.
Okay.
So when asked about like trust in AI, he actually echoes OpenAI CEO Sam Altman,
Oh, really?
saying like you shouldn't blindly trust anyone, including Google.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he really stresses the need for regulations and systems to make sure AI is developed and used responsibly.
Yeah, I mean, we need some safeguards here
We do.
as it becomes more powerful and,
Right, as it gets more integrated into our lives.
integrated into our lives. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does he see as the biggest threat to Google then
That's a good question.
in all of this?
It's interesting. He doesn't actually single out a specific competitor for technology.
Yeah.
He says the biggest threat is Google not executing well,
Oh, wow.
which I thought was,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a reminder that even a giant like Google can stumble
Yeah.
if they lose focus or fail to adapt.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah,
Any company, really.
any company for sure.
I like that he has that, like, paranoia,
Right.
in a good way.
It's like a healthy paranoia.
Yeah, remember he even quoted Andy Grove,
Oh, yeah?
only the paranoid survive?
Oh, that's a good one.
Classic Silicon Valley
Yeah.
mentality, right?
Totally, and it seems like he's taking it to heart.
Yeah, it makes me wonder.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll look back at this whole era of large language models and be like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh, remember when that was like
Yeah.
cutting edge?
It seems so basic now.
I know.
Yeah.
Like so simple.
Well, he hopes so.
Oh, really?
He actually uses an analogy about his kids
Okay.
who take, like, touchscreens and powerful smartphones for granted.
Of course they do.
Yeah, he wants to see AI evolve to the point where today's technology feels like a child's toy.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a good way to think about it.
It is.
Yeah.
That what seems revolutionary today
Right.
could be commonplace tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves,
Right.
there's one more thing I want to touch on
Yeah.
from Pichai's interview.
What's that?
His leadership style.
Oh, yeah.
And how he's navigating this, like, changing culture at Google.
That's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about those criticisms that he's too slow, too cautious.
Right. That really highlights this difference
Yeah.
between his approach and that, like, move fast and break things mentality.
Right, that some other tech leaders have.
Yeah. And that quote about Google running things through legal
Oh, yeah.
really kind of emphasizes that perception of a more, like,
Yeah.
bureaucratic.
They're overthinking everything.
I know.
Yeah.
But I guess when you think about the bigger picture, it makes sense.
Yeah, they're not a startup anymore.
Right.
They're this massive global enterprise
They are.
with a responsibility to billions of users.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he's maybe a little more careful.
It seems like he understands that those like rapid unilateral decisions could have a huge unintended consequences.
Yes. And
Right.
so it's less about being like a maverick
Right.
and more about being like a steady hand at the helm.
Exactly. Yeah, his emphasis on consensus might seem slow, but it allows for like more thoughtful long-term strategies. Yeah, he's not about making a splash, he's about making a lasting impact.
And I think when you're dealing with something as powerful as AI,
Totally.
that makes sense.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
But this brings me to like the changes we've seen in Google's culture,
Right.
those recent layoffs.
Uh-huh.
And it seems like they're less tolerant of employee dissent these days.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, remember when they fired those employees
Right.
protesting the Israeli cloud contract?
Yeah, it definitely raises questions about like
It does.
where the lines are drawn.
Yeah.
You know,
Like how much?
Pichai insists that it wasn't about the topic of the protest,
Oh, okay.
but about like conduct that disrupted the workplace or made others uncomfortable.
Okay.
But it's a nuanced situation.
It is.
And it's one that I think we'll probably see play out more and more as AI becomes even more integrated into Google's products and services.
It feels like we're entering a new era, not just for Google, but for the whole tech industry.
Yeah, I think we are.
It's exciting and also a little bit scary.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, it's clear that Pichai really believes Google's future is like deeply intertwined with AI.
Totally. Yeah, AI is not just a side project for them anymore.
Right, it's everything.
It's at the core of everything they do.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, we are back for the final part of our deep dive into Google and the future of AI.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey.
It has been.
Exploring everything from Google's history with AI to, the challenges of actually leading a company like that.
I know. And now it's like, okay, where do we go from here?
Right.
What's next?
Yeah.
Pichai seems to really see AI as the driving force for the company moving forward.
Absolutely. It's not just another project anymore. It's really woven into the fabric of everything they do.
It's kind of crazy.
It is. It's a big deal.
So what does that actually mean for us, though?
Yeah.
Like, why should I care as like an everyday user?
Well, because Google's decisions impact our lives in a big way. True.
Like, they shape how we access information, how we connect with each other, how we even understand ourselves.
Yeah, you're right.
Think about it. Google search is how most people navigate the internet.
Yeah.
Google Maps, guides us on our journeys. And now AI is being integrated into all these things.
It's true.
Changing how we use them and how they affect our everyday lives.
And, when you think about Pichai's vision for the company, it's really a vision for the future of AI.
It is.
It's like this world full of so much potential.
Right.
But also a lot of potential problems.
Yeah, totally. We've talked about both sides of that coin.
We have. And that brings us to kind of a final thought here.
Okay.
We've heard Pichai talk about responsible AI development.
Uh-huh.
But what does that actually look like?
Yeah.
Like, what's our role in all of this?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
What role do individuals in society as a whole play in shaping the future of AI?
That's a big one.
It is, and I don't think Google has all the answers.
I think those are questions for all of us to think about.
As we kind of go on this journey together.
Exactly, because the future of AI is the future of Google.
And in a way, it's the future of all of us.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today.
Wow, that went by fast.
It did.
It always does.
It really does.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Google and AI.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Make sure to check out the source material.
Yeah, definitely.
And as always, form your own opinions.
Absolutely.
Until next time.
See you later.